Hello, I'm JT.
And I'm Jody.
We are the Bowtie Baptists.
And we're here with another episode for you guys. This week we decided, since the annual meeting's coming up in, 2 weeks?
Close.
Yeah.
Before you know it.
We're going to go ahead and kind of do a preview show of that, so to speak. Just talking about some of the things we're planning on going and seeing and things that we want to see while we're there. And then while we're there, we might even do something, release it while we're there. And then we'll do a recap show when we get back. So,
yeah.
But this will be your second. You went last year.
Mm-hmm.
This will be my second. I went to New Orleans, missed out last year, and getting back at it this year. So we've got another group from our church going. We've got 6 going. We originally actually had all 12 that we could send.
Yeah.
But for one reason and then another, folks had to kind of bow out.
It's just tough with, flights and, you're talking 4 days.
Yeah.
4 full days work and whatnot people miss. It's tough.
Yeah. But next year when we're going to Orlando, we've got a couple of others. One in particular that really wanted to go this year that couldn't. I told her she didn't get an excuse out of it next year. I told her at church this morning that. But we got a good group going. Savannah, this will be her first year, my wife, and everybody else will have already been at least once. And then now Dickie and your dad, this will be their 3rd year in a row going. Mm-hmm. But we still don't know what the actual agenda of the sessions are going to be yet. But if you're interested in that, just download the app and you'll be able to read it as soon as it comes out. But needless to say, since we can't talk about that, we're just going to talk a little bit about the expo. Yeah,
the expo. The book of reports is already out, and by all means, 260, 60 or 90 pages.
Yeah.
With the stuff, if you want to dig through it. But a couple things I thought was interesting there. But I'm waiting to get to the convention to see, how the committees and whatnot go through it. But I'm excited for the expo. I'm excited for the business. Again, I wish I knew kind of the hot topics, but I don't think it's going to be as a attention-getting convention as it was last year. I think it's... Well, and then, too, I could be completely wrong. You don't know what's going to get proposed from the floor, and it could add drama for next year in Orlando. So, but there's a couple of booths I'm very excited to go to and get some information from, and it's going to be a good time. Yeah,
and speaking of not as much business, as far as what's expected, known about it in advance, one thing is the president. And it's always, traditionally, it's a courtesy unless somebody just doesn't like or doesn't think that the current president is doing a good job. Kind of as a courtesy, nobody runs against them the second year and lets them just kind of get the second term. So I don't think, as of now, nobody has announced they're running against him.
Well, and then, too, I don't have a problem with Presley. Nothing he's done thus far has bothered me.
Yeah, and
I thought that's a pretty.
I definitely think one thing that got him a lot of fans is when he called out the credentials in EC about
New Spring. Yeah.
Yeah. So y'all kind of botched that one up, messed that up.
Yeah,
missed the mark. But
no, I did appreciate that because that just kind of came out of nowhere, didn't it?
Yeah.
All of a sudden, you just see that New Spring's now.
Yeah.
And then just go on their website. It's not like it could have passed through any type of research. So they have women pastors and whatnot. And again, I'm not going to criticize. I've been to New Spring. I'm not going to sit here and bash New Spring. But, if you want to talk about following the Baptist faith and message,
Yeah.
It doesn't mix well, I guess. But no, I was impressed he did that. And typically, no news is good news.
Yeah, that's
when it comes to a president,
Yeah. But that's going to be the focus of this episode. Before we get into the episode, we got to do our dad joke.
Okay.
All right. So, all you knotheads out there that are looking to impress your friends, where is the first tennis match mentioned in the Bible?
Genesis.
It's
always a good guess.
Yeah. It's when Joseph served in Pharaoh's court.
Hey.
Yeah, there we go. Okay, so we got the soundtrack this time. All right, so remember, feel free to use that and impress your friends. We'll have another one in the next episode.
One thing that I promised the nutheads that I would do from our last episode is go through my favorite authors that I had now in preparation to my sermon. And I might need your help to kind of read some of these. But I mean, out of 17 books that I read through, at least like the relevant chapters, these three I dug into a lot. This one here, the Bible Exposition Commentary by Warren, is that Wiersbe?
I ain't got a clue.
Yeah, Warren W. Wiersbe. This book is awesome. I mean, I wanted to read more of it, but
we'll mention. So what we'll do is I'll make sure that all these get notated in the comment section. So if you're interested in any of these three books that JT mentions, I don't know that I'll necessarily have a link to them, but I'll put the title and the author in the note section.
Could probably find it
Easy,
very cheap online.
Yeah.
But then we have, this one's really good, man. The Deuteronomy, a favorite book of Jesus. Bernard N.
Schneider.
Yeah,
I guess that's.
This book is awesome.
Okay.
I mean, this is given to Darren secondhand, but I just want you to look and see every page is
got something underlined or
noteworthy. This book is awesome. And then this one here, I didn't even use this for my sermon, but it was such a great read. I had a section highlighted that Darren gave to me, but I ended up reading like 50 pages of it. Didn't use any of it in my sermon, but it was such a good read here. So this is Notes on Deuteronomy, Volume 1 by C.H. MacKintosh. That's all I got there because I don't know everything else.
How old is that?
This
one's pretty old.
Yes,
What's the
I'm trying to figure
copyright in it?
Is that the?
It should be at the front. Yeah, flip over one more page. Right there. 1880, first edition, 1880.
This book.
This is not a first. Let me go ahead and say this is not a first edition that we're holding.
But first glance, you're like, oh my gosh, this book is going to be dense. It's going to be boring, thick, whatever. But man, this was such a cool read. I mean, again, I read like 50 pages in a night, and I was like, okay, now I'm getting so far away from my topic that now I'm just taking time away from my sermon. So, but I highly recommend any of those. And of course, the Bible, my Bible, was about probably it'd be like 80% of it.
Yeah. So the Bible. The author on that one is God.
Yeah, there you go.
So
God and his instruments, primarily Moses.
Yeah. Yeah. So y'all guys bear with me. I'm looking to see if I can. So I don't know, have I told you, I like using, it's called Thrift Books. They actually have an app that you can download.
Cool.
But a lot of books that I'm looking for, they are hands down the cheapest. Like it's kind of like Mr. Case. If you live in South Carolina or Asheville, you might have heard of Mr. Case, but it's a used bookstore. You can take your own books, trade them in for store credit, or get cash. But they have a lot of cool books too. I checked them out because I found some in there I just bought one in there for $10. The cheapest one I can find online, period, regardless of website, is $48.
Yeah, these are not cheap books, man.
No.
And then, all these seminaries that I keep looking at, all the books, I mean, just get as you I mean, it's not like college, I remember, where you go to the bookstore and buy your books. No, it's, here's a book of the class. You better go find it. So, yeah, I'm gonna look into that.
All right, so this one, Deuteronomy, a favored book of Jesus, is on here, paperback, $9.29 right now.
Anybody to read that. That book is all. And then like all the stuff that I was telling you last time, just one of the several things that I use, and I was desperately trying to find a way to put it in there, and I just couldn't. Came from that book.
All right, and then the other two were listed as currently unavailable on this particular website. So I don't know what they usually. Couldn't tell you what they usually sell for.
$14.
Is that what they said for this one?
If you go back down there, I want to get more of his commentaries. Yes. This was Genesis through Deuteronomy. What else has he got? Galatians.
So they've got Matthew to Galatians.
Ooh,
they've got all of them right here. Looks like ranging from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different volumes, ranging from $8.29 to the most expensive one right here in this list is there's one for $7.
Hey.
Up to $15.67. No, that's a different guy. So $15.59 for that particular series.
Yeah. I'm adding these books to my collection.
Yeah.
Because it is so good. I
get you. So, and speaking of books, I'm gonna go ahead and use that to segue into the annual meeting.
Okay.
And I'm gonna stop I give you and Savannah a hard time about calling it the convention instead of the annual meeting. But I've heard so many people that grew up in the SBC, and even like let's see, Lifeway. What's his name? Drawing a blank on his name. Anyway, they did an interview. Have you listened to any of the episodes of
the Lifeway episodes?
No, so for the annual meeting.
The Road to Dallas?
Yeah, the Road to Dallas.
I sure haven't.
Let me see. I'm trying to figure out which episode it is. Anyway, so actually South Carolina, I think it was on Instagram, they had a post about the SBC. I think it was the SCBC at the SBC party, whatever they're calling it, the little get-together function that we're having on Monday for South Carolina. Mm-hmm. They said something like they called it the convention instead of the annual meeting.
No.
And like Ben Mandrell, that's the CEO of Lifeway. Like in the interview, The Road to Dallas, if he called it the annual meeting, it was only once or twice. But he continuously referred to it as the convention.
Well, I'm pretty sure, but the Baptist Review guys too reviewed it as a convention. I mean, referred to it as a convention.
And there's a lot of people.
Is it possible Jody's on the outside looking in on this?
I don't think so. No, because it's the actual meeting. No, because it's... now, there were a couple of them that were... The way it was worded was... Like, I was confused. Like, I didn't know if they were talking about the convention as an entity or if they were talking about the event that were coming up. Because it's crazy because... I
think most people view it as both.
A lot of them
talk about it,
yeah. And because the thing a lot of people think about, and probably like with Ben and with whoever does the Instagram post for the state, they're probably, in their mind... also thinking that, yes, we're at the convention because those are the only 2 days the SBC technically exist. Because from the opening session on Tuesday, they call it into session, and that's when the Southern Baptist Convention exists. And then when the session closes out, the convention proper ceases to exist until the next June. And then you have the entities... that are responsible for...
Right, so what would you say the entities are a part of? Like, if I was going to... It describes somebody at the ERLC. Are they a part of the Southern Baptist Convention?
Oh, it's
That's
super
how I would
confusing.
describe it.
Yeah, it's super confusing. Absolutely no doubt about that.
Yeah.
It's just mind-boggling.
Yeah. I think
But no, I've heard so many just over trying to get all the prep work done and make plans and stuff. Like all these lifelong people from SBC churches are calling it the convention too. But there's also a lot more folks that are coming in to the SBC from outside. And I didn't even know what the annual meeting was until probably 5 years ago, and I grew up in a Southern Baptist church.
Yeah.
So I'm still going to tease y'all about it. But I can't say anything. I called it on an earlier episode. I don't remember which one it was. I actually called it a conference.
Yeah.
Because we were talking about football or something, but I called it the Southern Baptist Conference.
No one called us out about that? No one called it?
I don't guess they did. But, no, so going back to the annual meeting and then the book thing, the segue is Lifeway's going to have an actual village, and you're going to have to explain that to me because they didn't have that in New Orleans. This was something new that they had last year. But
if I remember correctly, it looked almost like a Mac store.
Really?
Like an Apple store. Like you had this big thing that said Lifeway, and then you had all these little different stations in it. At the time, I didn't know what Lifeway really was, so I wasn't. And then like several people around, I couldn't really talk to anybody, so it's just like, whatever.
Oh, I got you.
But no, I'm gonna check it out. I'm gonna check out every seminary table they got, ask them questions, and talk to them. I just saw something that I wanted to check out. I started.
Yeah, I know. While you're looking that up, I know Lifeway. When I went to New Orleans, I kicked myself for a long time, for a couple of months afterwards, because I didn't buy a book on Koine Greek that they had. It was a textbook on how to learning to read Koine Greek, which is biblical Greek. What the Greek text of the New Testament was written in. But
we talked about that in our Sunday school lesson last week because we were going something because there's a slight. I can't think of the verse offhand, but it's 2 Chronicles and 2 Samuel. It might be 1 Samuel and 1 Chronicles.
Mm-hmm.
There's an indifference of a 0. And if you get into the Hebrew, one of the books that I'm reading now on doctrine, the word is the infallible word of God. When you're talking about like Hebrew, think of like the pi symbol. I think that's how kind of pi. But I mean, you could literally be talking about like an asterisk slightly inward on the corner or slightly outward, and it means something different. And that just got me thinking, man, I mean, how bad is your handwriting?
I can't read it.
My handwriting is awful. And I just think back to, how easy could it be, not saying this has happened or anything, but just put yourself in that. Have you ever seen the Hebrew alphabet?
Yeah.
Like it's wild. We could kind of probably look at that. But I mean, it's just like the slightest. It ain't like me how I can read some of my own misspelled words and I can still get the message. Like you alter one of those symbols, you completely change the text of the meaning of that sentence, and it just to me even just goes into just how did that language come about? Because in Deuteronomy, it's all about teaching, right? You don't have like the mass spread of information that you do in a sense better in the New Testament. So it's all about Abraham taught it to his son, who taught it to his grandson, who taught it to his neighbors, how they communicated it, and he created the Hebrew language, one of the founders of Hebrew language. And I mean, and then too, man, I mean, I never thought about this, but how do we speak and talk versus how does someone in Louisiana speaks and talks, or what I mean? So I mean, it's just, to me, it just goes back to just the all-powerful, just all-in-control idea of God.
Yeah.
But sorry to get on that little tangent,
no,
but
that's fine.
we spent time because I actually had like a symbol showing them because my book that I'm reading now does it so well, and I don't believe there's any infallible. I don't believe there's any mistakes in the Bible. So if I see something that there's a slight difference here versus there, there's a reason for that I'm just not aware of yet.
Yeah.
So that's currently.
Yeah, and we just got to bear in mind that there's these thousands of years of it being copied.
And then you throw trademarks on it. How many different versions of the Bible do you have?
Yeah.
So it's just like.
Yeah, and it's which that's kind of something that I've always thought was funny. Like you open up your Bible and then it says that, like in the translation, it says "It's copyright. You can't use any more." So many pages. Like, dude, you didn't write it.
Yeah, you had to have a certain number of indifferences in order to copyright it. And to the King James Version, in my Sunday school class, we were studying Mount Zion, and what we learned. And hardly anyone caught it because a lot of people don't use King James. They use New King James. Well, New King James, whenever David talks about Mount Zion in the prophecy in the end of times, he used Mount Sion. Okay? New King James still says Zion. So I'm the only one, because I'm using the book that Bible Darren gave me, and I'm like, I wonder why it's Sion, and no one else even knew that.
Yeah.
So we sit there, we do a little research, we find out that Mount Zion, the physical mountain, but when he uses Mount Sion, it's prophecy speaking. Very interesting. And now we get into the weeds, so I love our class.
I got you. So since we're on the topic of giveaways and expo, what in books? I'm just curious. Everybody knows I give away stuff, and I kind of binge listened at work last week to all of the Road to Dallas episodes that have come out so far. I mean, they're all video format, so I just had to plug it in and put it off to the side and just listen to it through the speakers. But they were actually saying when they were talking about the little expo that they're going to have, you gotta make sure you bring bags to walk around with and empty luggage to take the stuff home with. What of the stuff you brought home last year, what was your favorite thing?
Shirts. I mean, I was desperate for shirts. I'm trying to think. A couple books. I got a cold book that meant a lot to me.
Okay.
It was a free little book that was very useful and helped me, navigate that last year. And I'm trying to think of what else I got. Pens, stickers, markers, kind of typical expo stuff. I didn't buy a book last year. I'm slowly becoming a reader. Kind of have to now, you know what I'm saying?
I mean, you just about bring home enough sample books and devotions and Bible studies that'll keep you busy for a year. Yeah, if you really wanted to. Mm-hmm. And I mean, they've got 200.
Oh no, I bought a bunch. I went to a homeschool. I can't remember their name. It was a.
Was it a booth?
Yeah, it was a booth. And I sat there and talked to them for a while because, Rachel and I, we want to homeschool. And it was call it a community. I don't know what's the proper word. But it's, you can get in with other Christian families. And they have an expo or a gathering or I don't know what exactly you call it in Greenville.
Co-op? You talking about a co-op?
Perhaps, yeah. And I sat there and talked to them for a while. But so whereas I didn't get like merchandise, I did get a slew of stuff like just information packets. Companies showing, trying to get their name out there. And Rachel wants to go, but just the kids are just too young right now, and trying to find somebody who doesn't work who could be with them all day.
Oh yeah,
for 4 days during the week stuff.
yeah.
And you could actually sleep. Okay, so fine grandparents, but good luck grandparents, sleeping through the night with my kids.
Yeah.
But eventually she's gonna go. That's one of her big one thing she wants to look into. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I really spent time with. Nothing comes to mind right now.
Yeah. Well, I know I came back 2 years ago. I came back with a ton of books and Bible studies. I still haven't read all of them that I came back with. But now I will say, if you're planning on going, you can go ahead and go through. They've got a list of all the vendors, and they're at like 250 now.
I just saw it.
Or over 250.
That's a lot.
And I know I've mentioned in the past the one that had Catholic ties, and I kind of went through the other day and I didn't see that one.
257.
257. I'm pretty sure they said this is the biggest one they've ever had as far as number of exhibitors. And the last time they were in Dallas, they used 2 halls. This year they've got to use 3 halls to fit everybody. I will say Midwestern Seminary, they've already kind of hinted that they're going to be giving away their For the Church t-shirts again. They didn't do that the year I was. They might have. And I will say a lot of these booths you've got to go to every day because they have a different giveaway every day. Because when I went to New Orleans, Midwestern had something different each day, and I didn't know about that. But I got an Algene bottle, which was pretty sweet.
Yeah.
And then a For the Church sticker that was the South Carolina one, because they have them for each state. But apparently they did t-shirts last year, and then what I've seen is hinting around that they're going to do t-shirts again this year, and they're going to be very limited in number. So you've got to know what day they're giving the different things away. But I'm excited. I'm a big nerd, so I'm kind of excited about seeing the Back to Genesis booth and talking with those guys.
Oh, cool.
Because they're a creation science and apologetics organization, kind of like Answers in Genesis. Answers in Genesis was there in New Orleans, but I didn't see them on the list this year. I haven't kept up with them. I don't think they've changed their name to anything, but I know the Ark, what's it called? The Ark Encounter. Yeah, Ark Encounter and the Creation Museum, they're going to be there too. So that's going to be kind of cool to see. And then like you said with the seminaries.
Yeah.
Just talking with
I'm
those
going to go
guys.
to every single one, ask them some questions.
Yeah.
And see what I can figure out. And there's a couple, I didn't know this, but Brotherhood Mutual. So those of you who don't know, I'm in insurance adjusting, and that is a homeowners insurance company. I'm gonna go to their booth and just, hey man, y'all use adjusters, just see what happens. But because why wouldn't you want to? You can put your secular work into in ties with religious. I mean, your ministry work. Why not?
Yeah.
But and then too, there's plenty of stuff I'll be happy to let's go through it once we get back, because of course.
Yeah. We'll do kind of a recap.
I really hope we can do some interviews while we're there. We got to get Dickie on here, man. And yeah, Dickie. We got to get Dickie and my dad together.
And we'll just slip the mics on them and without them knowing about it.
That drive to Indianapolis, I think, was 13 hours. If that sounds right. 7. No, it might have been 11. I don't know. But just them going back and forth was just great entertainment. I'm looking forward to it, and I think we can keep the participation growing. I think,
because we've got, like I said, we had several from our church that want to go this year. They just couldn't get off work, couldn't get vacation approved.
And you're starting to get core group of committed people that are consistently going.
Yeah.
And you have to have that.
And the best part about it is they know it's not a vacation. They know that they've got to sit through 2 full days worth of meetings from like 8 to 5. Or not 8 to 5, 9 to 5.
Yeah.
But still, you get a couple hour lunch break, but still.
But it's not, but it's broken up with worship, singing. You got the, I think it's called the convention sermon.
Oh, yeah.
Not the annual. I just said you wouldn't.
Yeah,
not the annual
I know.
meeting,
No, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
So it is. You're not just sitting there doing business all day. It's worship. It's growth. It's learning.
Yeah. And then I just mentioned a couple of these giveaways that have already been announced ahead of time, and then we'll go into some of the other events that we're going to, and some of the other ones that we're not going to. But they've got one thing. This is cool. Did you hear about the scavenger hunt that they're doing this year? So they're doing a scavenger hunt. They're actually, the SBC is actually doing this themselves. And what they're doing is when you get your messenger bag, there's a card, like a scavenger hunt card. And you have to go to 30 different booths and get them checked off. And one of the things is you have to go to the cooperative program booth and make like a 30-second video of what the cooperative program means to you since it's the 100th anniversary of it.
Oh, yeah.
Which we need to do that this year because there's actually 2 things that it's 100th anniversary. The first Baptist Faith and Message is 100 years old. And then the cooperative program is 100 years old this year as well. But what they're doing is you go around all 30, you turn the card in, and they're doing 10 prize packet giveaways.
Oh, cool.
Each of the 30 booths that you go to has provided the same item to go in all 10 of the booths. Or in all 10 of the prize bags. But some of the other things, we know Midwestern's giving stuff away, and it's going to be probably different every day. The Guidestone Financial Solutions, they've announced what their giveaways are going to be, which we won't be there on Sunday. That's more Pastors Conference. Time frame Sunday, Monday's Pastors Conference. We'll be getting there on Monday. So Sunday we'll miss out on a bandana.
I can't pull that off.
Yeah. Monday they're giving away pickleball sets and children's activity books. Tuesday they're giving away a book called A Psalm for Unseen Servants and some hats. And then Wednesday they're giving away Thread wallets. I've never heard of Thread. It's a trademark, so I don't know. I'll have to look that up. But outside of that, Lifeway's giving stuff away. Don't know what yet. They've got, I'm not even going to go through this whole list. A lot of it's going to be t-shirts, things like that. But IMB's giving stuff away. NAM's giving stuff away. Send Relief's giving stuff. All 3 of those are t-shirts, at least. SBC Abuse Prevention and Response.
Was that what was created from last year's convention? Annual meeting?
I'm honestly not sure when that was formed.
I thought it was I thought that was one of the task force's responsibility. If I remember that right, because they got ripped. So
they get ripped every year.
Those poor guys.
Yeah.
And they don't even have the authority to do what we're asking them to do. Yeah. But I wonder if that's what was created from that task force. But anyway.
Yeah. See, now they're not, according to this, they don't have anything specifically listed that they're giving away. It's more of they want everybody to know that they are there to answer any questions about what they offer and what they do. Why they exist, kind of thing.
If you didn't go so last year, I don't know if you might not even know this, but the guy who Darren knew who it was because Darren said he was going to write him a letter because he just so appreciated what he did. But he gets up there, he's saying, because the task force when they create these task forces, mainly for research, and from what I understood,
Yeah.
here's the research. Committees with power use this research to do as you see fit, as you can implement.
Mm-hmm.
And they got up with their results, their recommendations, and you had messengers immediately get up and say, well, no, you were asked to do X, Y, and Z. Why didn't you do this? And he got up, man, flat out said, well, we don't have the authority to even do that.
Yeah.
He didn't say it exactly like that, but he said it like everybody knew what he was saying. And Darren's like, I just so appreciate him just being honest.
Yeah.
And you just feel for those guys. And I was just like, man, to stand up, to sign up for that.
Yeah.
Knowing that you can't, I mean, your hands are tied in a lot of cases. And then just to get ripped.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just, dude, good for you, man. Like, that's awesome.
Yeah. So, Southwestern, like I mentioned. So, in this article, this is on BaptistPress.com. Southwestern is being listed. They're giving away campfire ceramic mugs, Texas-themed spices, including barbecue sauce, hot sauce, and seasoning, are among the giveaways. And then they're also giving away copies of a book, the L.R. Scarborough Treasury. And it says stop by their booth for a free copy of that book. Now, the thing with them is we're planning on going to, what is it? Which day? We're going to something of theirs, I think.
Southwestern?
I think so.
Is it the luncheon?
I think it's the Southwestern luncheon. There's one of them that we signed up. I tried to get us signed up for that was free. But it was already sold out. Mm-hmm. Like they had 1,000 tickets available and they were completely gone already. So I put myself on the wait list, and I've got to put all y'all on the wait list also. We're probably not going to get tickets, but we went ahead and got something else for Thursday, but I mean not for Thursday, but for Wednesday. But they're giving away a book at that luncheon. But
now, why do you, just kind of off subject here?
Go ahead.
We talked about, you just said Midwestern. Why do you think the percentages to the seminary contribution from the SBC is different?
I don't know.
I don't know either, because you got Southern's the biggest, and that's in Louisville, Kentucky. Is at 10.3 million contribution from 2023 to 2024. After that, you have Midwestern, which is at 8.3 million contribution, and then New Orleans Seminary, you got 6.5. Southeastern is at 6.6, and Southwestern is at 6.3.
I don't know.
I mean, just curious. I'm sure it has something to do with size. I mean, you know.
Let me look at it. So, with South Carolina, we can actually we can log in and see exactly how much goes to each entity. All right, so where's that?
Right now, we ain't giving nothing.
Well, yeah.
It looks like.
All right, so.
Oh, you got to put in your contribution.
So, for every $1 in South Carolina, it gives 9 cents, splits up 9 cents to the seminary. So, you might as well say there's 9 of them.
Well, no, it's right there. You got Anderson, Charleston, Southern, North Greenville.
No, those aren't the seminaries. Those are the schools in South Carolina that are associated with them. These are the theological seminaries that are over here under the national.
Why aren't those listed out like the universities are?
I don't know.
Because you're looking at 10, 14, 14% to the universities and 9% to the seminaries. Yeah. What are the seminaries that are associated with the South Carolina? Let's look that up.
No, there's not 9. There's 6 seminaries. So, yeah, so it does different percentages. It's got to. For it to be 9 cents of every dollar, it wouldn't be an equal penny apiece.
Right.
So I don't know how they decide that.
I didn't even know that. I just thought it was just 3 universities, seminaries.
Mm-mm. No, so in each state, you got to think about that though. Each state that's got its own schools, they're giving money from the cooperative program in their states to those state universities that are tied in with their conventions. But while you're looking that up, I'm just going to mention a couple other things. Midwestern, no, that's right. It was Southwestern is the one I tried to get us in but couldn't. It's Midwestern is the luncheon that we are going to on Wednesday. New Orleans, it says grab exclusive giveaways. Midwestern, give away 3,000 t-shirts from its custom For the Church State Series. And flash giveaways will feature an Owala water bottle. Is that like the new Stanley Cup now or something? An Owala water bottle?
Man, I'm old.
And Dallas themed For the Church hats.
That's not the, that's not, I'm sorry.
No, you're fine.
I can't do 2 things at once.
Oh, that's fine. You keep looking that up. I'll just go ahead and keep reading this list. So Gateway, highlighting gratitude for the centennial of the cooperative program and the Baptist Faith and Message. Giveaways include a canvas bag with prospective students receiving a backpack upon the completion of an application. So you might as well go ahead and apply for Gateway. Take a trip out to California. I'll come visit you.
Brother, you ain't getting me in California. That's just not happening.
The only way I'm going to California is if I'm flying out to watch an athletics game and then heading straight back to the airport once the game's over with. Anyway, so Southern, you're going to be spending a lot of time there. Meet faculty and grab Boyce College and Southern Seminary merchandise. The Southeastern booth will immerse visitors in its culture of open spaces that facilitate conversation and community. They're also going to have giveaways, including free books. Lifeway.
No, that's what that means. It's not. The state convention still contributes to the 6.
Yeah.
To the same 6. I thought there was 6 that it contributed, particularly in South Carolina.
Oh, no.
Yeah,
no,
that's what I'm sitting here looking.
Oh. You can go.
I'm like, I didn't even heard of these seminaries. Like, what? Which ones are these talking about?
So,
sorry.
Nah, you're good. All right, so Lifeway, free resources will include a short guide to church, pastoring small towns, and turnaround and succession. And then they'll have a bunch of stuff for sale as well. And I'm not going to lie, one of the things I'm excited about with Lifeway is when I heard that they will be giving away free coffee.
Someone did. I think it was Lifeway last year. That's where I went. Yeah.
So I'm excited about that. The ERLC, Ethics and Religious Liberties Commission, they're going to be there. They will be offering free theological and practical guides to use in local churches. ERLC, I'm curious to see if anybody makes any sort of motions to try and do away with them again. Didn't that happen last year?
What's that?
Somebody tried to make a motion to get rid of the ERLC last year? Or no?
I don't think so.
I know there's a lot of talk about
I do remember that. I can't remember how,
I don't know that.
We all looked, and
yeah.
Darren looked at us, that's not happening. Kind of rolled his eyes at it. But,
yeah.
I mean, he's not alone, brother. I support you. I seconded it.
Yeah.
You know, but you ain't gonna.
Yeah. And then Southern Baptist Foundation, $100 roll of mints. What? Oh, register to win a jersey signed by Dallas Cowboys quarterback Dak Prescott. One of the foundation's $100 roll of mints, a battery-operated fan, and guess the amount in the giant soda bottle filled with cash to win it. Okay, that sounds like. I mean, they're talking about an investment. I'm gonna get some football folks upset with me, maybe. But they're talking about an investment, but they're giving away a Dallas Cowboys jersey.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't even keep up with football, but I know that's probably not going to be worth much.
That's a poor stop. My stepdad is a huge Dallas fan, and I even said to him, I said, man, this year's looking rough. And he was like, no, we're still getting 9 wins. I'm like, bro, I wish I was
How many games do they play in a year?
17.
Okay.
But I was like, dude, outside of like my salvation, I don't know what more I'm optimistic than Dallas winning 9 games. But anyway, yeah, sorry.
No, you're fine. Yeah, I don't know. I don't watch football. I don't watch college or pro football. But I still talk smack to people.
Yeah.
I have no preferences to football teams. So whoever you pull for, I'm probably gonna crack a joke. I'll just change the team name in it. Use the same joke over and over.
I'm a Carolina Panther fan.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So
I'm sorry.
It's been a rough few years, man.
But yeah, so I guess let's talk about the kind of the schedule. Some of the things that we're going to. I'm not gonna lie. We looked for free meals. I looked for free meals for us and cheap meals for us. So look for us at the annual meeting. I'm probably not going to dress up this year just because
you're not wearing your seersucker.
I thought about taking it. I'm still debating it. If you see a guy in a seersucker with a yellow bow tie,
with a bunch of normal people following
all
him,
over it, and a bunch of like normal looking folks around me, stop by and say, hey, I don't know if I'm going to do this yet, but I have considered ordering some Bowtie Baptist stickers to give away.
Yeah.
And like I said, I don't know. I haven't decided yet. But either way, just stop us, say hey. And if we do have some, we'll have them in our pockets, backpacks, whatever, to give you. And if not, I'm probably just going to wear these the Bowtie Baptist t-shirts. So look for Bowtie Baptist t-shirts.
Probably going to be hot.
Yeah. And I'll actually go ahead and show you, since this isn't a video and this isn't going live, I'll go ahead and show you kind of one of the mock-ups that I had, if I can find it. But we'll be at the first thing that we've signed up for. First event we signed up for was the so I'm thinking something like that.
Oh wow.
And just have Dallas 25 underneath.
Yeah, there you go.
Just have it on a star.
Yeah, that's cool.
Well, it should be the logo on a 5-point star, like what you would think from the Texas flag. And instead of the Bowtie Baptist like you see here, where it kind of circles over it and then has Bowtie Baptist over the top of the mic and podcast under it. It's all underneath, and then we'll have Dallas 25, Dallas 2025 under it. Just something unique. If I do order them, it's probably only going to be like 100 of them. Yeah. So they will be extremely limited edition. So if you do see us, stop us and ask us if we were able to get them made. But the NAM Sin Luncheon, we're going, if we get there in time. Our flight leaves out at, what do you say, like about 7 a.m. out of Greenville?
6:55.
6:55 out of GSP, assuming it leaves on time, assuming it arrives on time. We should be able to get our Uber from the airport to the convention center in time.
Do you have the Uber app?
I don't know anything
My Uber app,
about Uber.
for whatever reason, does not work.
It
has something to do with like Uber. I can't change my payment on it, and so that is one thing that's bothered me. But I think I used to have Lyft.
Okay.
But anyway, because we're not going with tech savvy. Thomas does not have Uber. Okay. Dickie does not have Uber, so that's going to fall on me and you if we need to get 2 Ubers.
Yeah, I think your dad's already reserved this stuff. He was handling all that. He's got one, so if we have to get more, it's going to be on us.
7-passenger van, and he texted me and said, "Hey, does this look big enough?" And I said, well, if not, we can get pretty close. But some of them drivers don't want you sitting. I mean, they still got to be legal too. You know, they don't want you. We all got 7 people with 7 bags. I mean,
suitcases, yeah.
I mean, we might just have to get 2.
He's going through an actual shuttle service though.
Oh, I thought you said he was doing Uber.
Well, originally that's what he's looking at, but I think he said he ended up going with the shuttle service.
Dad's usually pretty thorough about those kind of things.
Yeah,
that's why I was like, Dad, you got to be on this team. Yeah. You got to be, because if it's up to me, if I'm doing the logistics, I'm just we're not even leaving the airport.
Yeah, so they've got. Let's see. We're not going Saturday. So the crossover Saturday is on Saturday. So that's something I would like to see our church eventually get to doing, which that's basically the mission trip. Yeah. Mm-hmm. We used to go on mission trips. Not used to be an international mission trip, but why can we not go on a week-long mission trip where, we might only be doing the missions projects for, a day or 2, but then we're there for the annual meeting to handle the business and represent the church and go to the
that is
expo
cool. Now.
And stuff like that.
They're spreading the gospel and
they saturate that city. Yeah,
and a lot of good's done with that. People get fed from that.
Yeah,
people get washed from that. So
yeah,
that's a good point.
And then on Sunday, we won't be there for Sunday, but they've got the Women's Expo and the Pastors Conference. Monday is your Pastors Conference and the Exhibit Hall, which we'll go check out then. There's a lot of other things. If folks take their kids, if they're able to get them registered in time, they've got Giant Cow. Now, I will say that's one thing that I'm not really a big fan of about this. And it might have changed. I didn't look at it because we're not taking our kids with us this year. Mm-hmm. But I'm pretty sure you have to pay for it. And
I told Rachel I was going to look into that.
Yeah. Okay. So here's the prices. So the early bird, if you register before February 28th, is $80 per child.
And you.
Yeah. And. So
Jody has 5 kids, in case people from our church are listening.
Yeah,
are listening.
Yeah, so it looks like they're sold out. Yeah, that's per child. That's $80 per child. If you register by February, if you do it on site, it's $110 per child. You got to think. A lot of these folks are the churches are paying for their pastors and their pastors' families to go, but I mean. How much money do we get through the cooperative program every year? Why can you not offer childcare in order to make sure that, because there's some people that don't go because they can't find somebody to keep their kids and they can't justify the additional expense. Now, it might not seem like a lot, but some of these real small churches.
Yeah, I mean, you're taking on some of that's liability too.
Yeah,
some of that's insurance, I'm sure. I mean, that's a tall task. Because how many? It all depends on how much is being used. So how much was it per kid?
$80 for the early bird price.
So call it. I mean, if you had 300 kids, which would be. I mean, we had 10,000 there last year.
I don't even know what the number was last year.
I think 10,000 voted for the presidential runoff, or 11,000 somewhere in there. Which then that would just be a low number at that point.
Yeah.
And how much was it per kid?
$80. And that's, like I said, that's the early bird.
So even if you had 1,000, that's $8,000. I mean, it's not. No, when you talk about some of these numbers.
Yeah.
I mean, that's chump change. But
and then
to the Southern Baptist Convention, evidently.
Yeah, so, and that's fine. If you got to pay to cover insurance, stuff like that, fees, things like that, I understand you got to pay for cover the meals, because one of the things is had something about paying for lunches. But it's sold out. So if it's sold out for giant, that's for ages 0 to 4, birth to 4. Some of the folks, they can afford it, but they don't have childcare, that's going to remove the ability of them to go and participate. So, charge the fee, but ensure that you're going to have a way to let anybody that wants to go. Because from year to year about how many you have each year, and just plan for a much higher number. I don't know. That's just my 2 cents on that. But that's an option. And then let's see. I talked about that's the child care. They've got workshops there on Monday. They've got a home education conference on Monday. Me and Savannah would probably would go to that if we were there early enough, but it starts at 8:30 in the morning. So we're just going to check out the expo probably. But then they've got the luncheon that we're going to, the NAMSEN luncheon. It's supposedly a really cool thing every year. The SBC, they're having the executive committee meeting. Is from 10 to noon on Monday. Like I said, a whole bunch of other meetings. Just go to sbcannualmeeting.net and you can click on the events and see all these different things. Messenger orientations from 4:45 to 5:40. Is it really an hour long?
I really so, yeah.
Because I didn't go when we were in New Orleans. We wanted to go find something to eat.
Yeah.
And then literally everywhere we went was closed until we finally found some kind of steakhouse.
We had a pizza joint last year that was so dark. Dickie someone was carrying a flashlight. That's what Dickie used to read his menu. It's like, why do you have a flashlight?
I can't say anything.
I think it was Thomas.
I can't say anything. I almost always have a flashlight in my pocket.
Really?
Yeah.
You got your phone.
Well, yeah.
And I guess that's the millennial. You're a millennial. I think you might have just missed it.
Mine's 10 years of policing, though.
Yeah, well, that's fair.
Because mine's 1,000 lumens.
No.
Like, I can see like a quarter mile away with mine.
The future.
Yeah. And then give somebody a seizure if they try to attack us with the strobe function. But, so Monday night, we've got the SC Baptist at SBC party.
I went to that last year.
I don't know how came up with that name,
I went to that. Awesome. I convinced us to go to that last year, and I didn't know anybody. So we just keep walking around. I was hoping someone would just talk to us. No one did. And we just kept walking around. And finally, after 10 minutes, we ate an hors d'oeuvre or two. And was like, all right, well.
Yeah,
y'all to go to bed.
Now, we'll know some folks there this year. I've got, now, Brian Spearman. He's one of the guys that's, I'm kind of co-coordinating all these RA statewide events for starting in October. Kind of a weird, I guess you could almost say a church year calendar. Starting with something in October, going through the spring with 3 major events. But he's going to be there and planning on trying to link up with him there at this Monday night. But it says that they're going to have late night snacks, sliders, wings, and more, and bowling, cornhole, arcade games, and more. So we'll go check them out. They're going to have a shuttle from the convention center to where this function's actually being held at. But that's it for Monday. There was something else that you had sent me. The Baptist Review is doing something at 9 o'clock also at the convention center.
Yeah, I was telling you earlier, I just said that because it was the Baptist Review. You and I both listened to them. We liked them. I'm not a fan. As soon as I saw JD Drew, I was like, But I saw Abbott Moeller. I mean,
yeah,
I wouldn't mind listening to what he had to say. But then the guy in the bottom right corner did the sermon last year.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember his name.
Yeah, it's actually kind of funny that two of the 4 speakers are kind of controversial in the SBC.
Yeah.
It's kind of either.
Do you know enough to speak on that?
Don't like them.
I just know, like, well, the book you and I are both kind of reading.
Yeah.
I mean, just criticized. It was all during COVID. Something about the Dreer. He got
something with Greer. Like she kind of bashes him pretty hard. Now I did read
and illegal immigration was.
Now I will say, if you haven't read his response to her book, you definitely need to go and do that. He wrote a detailed response. He said that there was like no attempt to contact him. It was stuff taken out of context, out of old sermons and old presentations he'd given. Now, I did go back and listen to one of them, and it probably
pretty left.
No, like what he would say, like out of context.
Oh, stretched, really?
Yeah, like kind of stretched it a little bit more than what it should have been,
really?
To get her make the point she was trying to make.
I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah, so it's kind of like you've got to be unbiased looking at this stuff.
Yeah,
and the problem is she's trying to sell books.
Yeah, and she is a Southern Baptist. Did you know that?
I did not.
Yeah, Megan Basham.
But it's when you get into the type of aggressive journalism like what she had in that book, like it's a flag to me, not necessarily a flag, indicator to me.
Yeah. From
10 years of knowing that there are two sides to every story and the truth is somewhere straight down the middle.
Kind of in the middle. And then I never. Okay. Until I got into church life.
Yeah.
I've never gotten into such situation where passions are strong, man. Like, it's you know.
But yeah, I'll
you get tempers get flared and passions are high.
Yeah, I'll have to find that article. Or you can find it. Just Google it. But
I don't know who's Etzel. You know anything about him?
Huh?
You know anything about Etzel?
Yeah, Kevin Ezel.
Ezel, okay.
Yeah.
Who is that?
Yeah. He's the president of NAM.
I thought it looked familiar, but I didn't know who that was.
Yeah. So, that's because so many people have such a strong, I'm not going to use the word hate, even though some of them, that's what it is.
Passion.
Yeah, some of them are very passionately against NAM. Some of them...
How long has he been in that role? Now, you told me that's an unpaid role. You told me.
No.
Not the president.
No, the boards.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
was about to say, because I remember you saying it's like the VP made $600 something about it. He ain't paid. That's what I'm saying.
So he took over NAM in 2010. And
I think I remember that now because I see there's somebody I follow on X and they went through this whole thing about how church plants are down, baptisms are down from what they were 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Yet funding is shooting through the roof every year.
Yeah. And one of the things that we were told to kind of be mindful about that might be brought up this year to kind of have our heads wrapped around is the spending on properties around the country by them.
Did you see what that was?
I didn't read all of it. I started reading it, but it was just a screenshot.
Yeah, it was a screenshot. And it's not easy to read.
And one of the things that I've done on them is one of the big arguments against them when it comes to the property purchases is they're spending $250,000 on a house in Miami. It's like, dude, it's Miami. That's probably dirt cheap. $250,000 here is a mansion.
Yeah, I hear you.
But now
go on the other side of Miami where, you know what I'm saying? Like, but why there?
Yeah, I know. If you can get the reasoning for it.
Is this investment?
It'll be fine. See, that I don't know. Now, I will say they have invested in the stock market, which I don't agree with that. I would much rather them invest in real estate, for real property, because you can turn around and sell it and at least get your money back most of the time.
Well, my problem is okay, to me, that's a slippery slope. You start getting in there like, hey, let's use this money to try to make money. Someone's getting cut in. There's percentages, and then there's taxes on top of that.
And here's my solution for you. if you're not using it if NAM is using this money and they're buying these homes, and I understand the argument that some are a lot, I don't know how many, because I haven't seen any hard numbers on how many are in their sin cities where they're planting churches versus where they are not currently planting churches or have immediate plans to begin planting churches. If you're going to buy those homes because somewhere down the line you're thinking you're going to, in the interim, let IMB missionaries use them as furlough homes.
Yeah, and then too, I think you should have to go through some type of approval process for this.
Or it has to be. There is. It's just
really, because I bet it's not. I bet the messengers aren't informed when this happens. Hey, we're going. They might be informed once it's bought.
Well, let me put it this way: it's somebody's having to greenlight it. The board's aware of it happening.
I thought the board was the ones making this. I thought this was a board making this decision.
So I don't know who's making the final decision on making the act, which transactions are being made. I just figured one of the boards or committees was over the budgeting. Yeah. And so you have all this things being properly funded. You have X amount left over. Well, it's kind of
let's try to be good stewards of this and invest it. Okay, I get that, but
yeah. And you also got to think about what the purpose of the board is. Like the board, they're presented with what these groups want to do. It's just like any other board. They're presented with what they want, what the groups want to do, what they're supposed to do. They're supposed to be keeping them in line with what they're supposed to be doing.
This goes back. This goes back to the adage that it's going to get put on the floor again. It's going to get voted down from the floor, which is insane to me. It's just absolutely insane that financial transparency won't even make it to a vote.
Yeah, I know.
It's who in their right mind? Every church is because the SBC is actually is very. It's not like anything else. Every church is a government. It's a governing body for an autonomous. You try to get out of paying taxes.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. But we can get out. We can leave the SBC today.
Yeah,
and so, but just think about it in the local church setting. Ain't no member okay with money being spent that's not being voted on.
Yeah.
Or at least made aware of.
Well, I mean, but you got to think about it. At our church,
and you can make the argument you elect the people to do that for you, but I have no idea when that's being had. I don't know how that vote even goes. And then too, we all get concerned about behind closed door votes.
Well, you got to think. Because I'm not on any of these boards, I've never sat in any of these boards, and obviously they have the closed door sessions about the financial stuff. But looking at it from what I do know, from how it functions and operates at the churches I've been a part of, is you have your different teams, and they have their budgets for the year.
Yeah,
they request a budget for what they're anticipating to spend over the next year.
All right.
And that goes to the church for approval. The church either approves it or they shut it down. And then it's pretty much they spend it however they want to. Now, you have the finance team that's supposed to provide some oversight to make sure, if something's questionable, they question it and make sure it's done right. But depending on where exactly the oversight kicks in for the board, and then
what are the repercussions? But then, so let's say the deacons made a decision that a lot of the church didn't like. Okay, the deacons have to go back to that church, and the deacons are going to hear about it.
Oh yeah,
and I believe the deacons, and I'm just talking deacons in general here.
Yeah.
Would course correct if need be, and there are cases where they may, not everybody who's upset is always right. Yeah. But there is a, what's the word I'm looking for? There's accountability. Yeah. In a sense.
Yeah.
So, but on these, people have been complaining ever since I became a Southern Baptist and started getting into this.
It's been going on for a long time,
and that was nothing new.
Yeah.
So it just. I just want to be able to have some accountability.
Yeah.
You know, if that's financial transparency, it's financial transparency. If it's, you know, something else, I haven't figured it out yet. What else it could be?
Yeah. So, let me just say, we went down that rabbit hole, chase that squirrel, but I think it's safe to say that when it's time for Kevin to be, after he gives his presentation about NAM, what they've done over the last year, what they're looking to do over the next year, that during that question and answer period afterwards, somebody's going to ask about it.
But do you know what someone asked last year? Okay, I can't remember exactly, but the guy sitting there talking, and he was cool, calm, and collected. And somebody asked, I think it was something like, will you go back and reevaluate this because of X, Y, and Z? And everybody at least around me, was like, yeah, that's pretty good points. And he looked and said, no.
Yeah.
And like half the other crowd was like, it thought it was hilarious.
Yeah.
But they don't have to listen to you.
Yeah.
You know? And
because when I was there, somebody asked him about.
I'm not saying it wasn't him, but it was.
What is it? Form 990?
Oh, Form 9. Yeah, it's a nonprofit. It's the same as a nonprofit.
They just provide that same information.
Very basic information. You ain't got to tell me what a guy makes. You can tell me a general range of what you spend on salaries.
Yeah, and
you can still protect identities.
Yeah, and the response was essentially, all that's available on the website. Just go to the website.
Yeah,
it's like it's not.
Oh, I saw that.
I tried to find it.
Well, Rhett Burns is really good about this, and if you follow his page, if you're on X, I don't imagine a lot of our followers are on X, but
yeah, I'm not.
If you are. I go through stages where I'm on it constantly, and then I gotta take a break. It is social media is just bad altogether. But he does a great job showcasing this, and then the Wolf Center of Baptist Leadership. Mm-hmm. They're doing something. And I've been meaning to follow up on it, but they're going to be down there. I want to go hang out. I want to go check them out because I've gone back and forth with him a couple times on those. But I'll figure all that out. But they do a great job of showing like what you just said, and showing it was false and giving evidence as to why it was false.
I got you.
After this convention, we might be able to. After this annual meeting, we might be able to, show something like that.
I got you. Yeah, let's go. We'll get back on the annual meeting now, I guess. We're at what, hour and 12 minutes?
Oh, all right.
Yeah. So,
gotta get to bed here soon.
Now the other thing on Monday that I don't remember what time it is, but is the second annual Royal Racers National Championship. We're not participating in that race. We're doing the leader race. And I dropped the ball on getting you your car, so I made
fantastic.
one for you.
I'm so excited
because you said something about doing a sticker, and I didn't think we'd have stickers in time. And I got bored one afternoon or one evening, and we had some friends over, and I was just sitting out on the patio like an old man carving, and took the block and carved a bow tie out of it. So
that's amazing.
I put a picture of that online. And that way you've got a car. And I'm going to cut out another one so that you can make a backup. Because like I told you, this one's real thin in the middle. If something happens to it, you'll still have your backup.
Man, I'm a mover, dude. But I can package anything.
But so that's on Monday. We'll be racing in the leaders race, which is on Tuesday morning.
Are we going to miss any of the meeting?
See, that's the only thing I got to ask them about because check-in's at 8:30, and I think the race starts at 9, which the session starts at 9.
Isn't the executives report first thing?
I think it is. So
I don't want to miss that. I don't want to miss what we're talking.
So we
sound like a bunch of nerds.
Be there, but we're going to try and do the race, but we might miss out on the race. We'll see. Maybe they'll just let us leave the cars and let them race.
I don't know. I mean, because I do want to partake in that too. Yeah. I do want to meet those guys.
And honestly, it'll be live streamed. We can watch it while we're doing the races.
We'll play it by ear.
The main thing I'm concerned with is missing any votes.
See, you're not going to have any votes.
Not that early.
No, because I think that's a recap.
Yeah, probably. Yeah,
This is going to go through This is going to go through the year, what they went through now, and we live streamed. What was the big bullet points on that live stream? You and I watched it. I watched it for a little bit doing dishes, and then I got told to do something else, so I quit watching it. But
I know one of the things we just talked about it earlier before we started recording was like all the proposals that were made last year for the EC to consider, like, bringing before the messengers this year. And one of them that got a lot of proposals, motions, whatever last year was adding, there were 3 different creeds. I know the Nicene Creed, the Apostles' Creed, I don't remember what the third one was, but it was another creed in addition to the Baptist Faith and Message.
Yeah. No, yeah, it was to incorporate in the Baptist Faith and Message, right? I thought the vote on the, because I remember that.
Incorporated, but I know it was basically you would have had to have affirmed the creeds in addition to the Baptist Faith and Message. So I don't know if it would have just been like added to the Baptist Faith and Message or as a separate thing to go along with the Baptist Faith and Message.
I didn't see. Yeah, I mean that's just over.
But again, they shot that down.
Well, I mean, as they should, because this is a governing body of autonomous participants.
Yeah.
So I'm like, you forcing me to incorporate a creed. I mean, that doesn't seem very. Seems kind of authoritarian a little bit.
But we got that, and then Tuesdays when you get into the sessions, first session starts at 9. They go till I think 6 o'clock this year on Tuesday. Last year they had a night session.
Did they?
Yeah, last year they had a night session.
Because that one day we didn't get done until 9.
Yeah.
Then we stayed for that the Baptist Review's questioning of the presidential candidates. I don't think we didn't get back to our hotel rooms until like 10:30.
Oh, okay.
And Dickie was a trooper, son. he kept up with all those.
Yeah, and this year they don't have any night sessions. It just goes till 6. Now on Tuesday we're currently registered for us and our group. We're going to 3 different meals, and there's a ton of them. Several of them on Tuesday are free. Some of them you got to pay for. They range from, I think, like 10 or 15 is the cheapest, up to 25, I think is the more expensive one.
But I have gravy and biscuits.
Yeah. So, but we're signed up for the Southeastern Equip Network breakfast. We're signed up for that one. We're signed up. That's for breakfast on Tuesday. Lunch, we're planning on going to the Ministry Safe Luncheon, which that's intended to target folks that have to do background checks to some degree or other, or they're responsible for making sure people pass background checks, which honestly, I think of the people going, probably Dickie and Thomas are the only 2 that really don't even have to worry about that kind of stuff. Because they're not on teams that are responsible for making sure people under them have background checks.
Yeah.
Because you, Savannah, and your dad all deal with kids.
Yeah.
And have to make sure that background checks are passed. And now Dickie is a deacon. So it would be definitely good for him to learn about background checks and the importance of them and how to do them and things like that, which is what the learn part of this Lunch and Learn is. But it's free. And then for supper, I'm not gonna lie, I found a free one. It was Union University's alumni and friends.
I was looking at that. I was like, "Where is that?"
It's in Tennessee.
Yeah.
Now I'm friends with people who are alumni from there, so I guess that counts. They didn't turn it down when I registered. I got a confirmation email saying they were excited to see us. So
yeah.
And then on Wednesday, I haven't signed us up for breakfast yet. There's 2 breakfasts listed. One of them is a women's breakfast for Southern, I think, is what I said. Probably not going there because it's a women's breakfast. And my wife is the only woman going with us, so that would be kind of awkward. But there's one other one. I don't remember who's doing that one. but I haven't found a whole lot of info about it yet. The lunch on Wednesday that I wanted to go to is already full. That was the free one that I mentioned earlier. We're actually going to what did I say? I always get Midwestern and Southwestern mixed up. But we're going to one. It's having to pay for it, which is fine. And it'll be a lunch. And all of these are lunch and learns to some extent. But and then we're going to make it a point on Wednesday night that we're going to go find some good, true Texas barbecue. And I went to college my first year at Texas Tech in Lubbock. So I know that the brisket here, where we are, ain't nothing compared to the brisket they got out there.
Okay.
So we got to find somewhere that's got brisket. The one time I've had brisket in South Carolina that was anywhere near as good as what I had in Texas wasn't even at a restaurant. It was some that a guy at work cooked and brought in one day. But it's on a whole nother level as far as the brisket. Now, I'm all about me some pulled pork barbecue with some mustard-based sauce on it. But out there, I'm looking at the brisket.
Yeah.
But I know your dad, it kind of like when we went to New Orleans, the whole focus was on finding boudin somewhere to try boudin. So your dad said we got to make it a point to find somewhere to get some Texas barbecue. So we'll do that probably Wednesday night. Anybody's got recommendations? We're not going to have a vehicle to get us to and from. We're staying at the Magnolia Dallas downtown. If anybody else is staying there, shoot us a message, let us know. We'll be on the lookout for you. So anywhere we go is probably going to have to be within walking distance of that. I mean, we could do a Uber or Lyft, but I'm sure there's plenty of places close enough to walk. Outside of that, just sessions all day, Tuesday, Wednesday. And then Thursday, our flight leaves pretty late, so we'll have a little bit of time Thursday morning to kind of explore the walking distance around us.
Yeah.
So anybody from that area's got suggestions, let us know. But we'll close it out on this note. What is the one thing that you are most excited about seeing or doing there this year?
Oh, the missionary send-off ceremony, the singing, which is amazing. Even at the state annual meeting, it's awesome. I'm very much looking forward to hopefully finding a seminary where I think I can actually transfer into and start beginning that journey.
Yeah.
So looking forward to that. Just the camaraderie, the fellowship. Looking forward to that as well. Making new friends, meeting new people. I got a couple guys that I reached out to, a couple pastors that I don't know personally, but I quote unquote met them whatever in the last convention. So and said they wouldn't mind meeting me. So I'm hoping to meet them and just kind of talk business.
All right.
But and then too, last year I'm gonna go into it with the intention of actually talking at church when we get back. Having things ready to, discuss and rock and roll, and because we're gonna present once we get back.
Yeah,
I know. So
yes.
And then Darren won't be there to save us. to just because that was the sermon. It took an hour, and I was up there. It took 5.5 minutes, I guess, just talk about things I like, things I didn't like, whatever.
Yeah.
Well, things that were good, things that were not so good. But again, I don't foresee a controversial. I mean, it's not as juicy as what the last convention was sold to be. Yeah.
Now there is talk that there is going to be some sort of a motion brought up comparable with the law amendment from last year,
which
having to do with women as pastors.
Which I could see it getting the votes needed to go to the next stage because it would have gotten those last year. I think it's half if I'm not mistaken, to get to the next stage, not 2/3 to pass.
Yeah.
And so it had, I think, 68%. No, because that would have been it had 64. 64, it needed 66.
Yeah.
Maybe 62. Something, it was very close. But it just,
Yeah, and it's kind of funny. Like, if you look at the numbers in voting, the closer you are to the heart of the South, the more conservative your vote is with that type of stuff. I say conservative, but really what it boils down to is like strictly with what the Bible says.
No, complementarian versus egalitarian. Yeah. And Dallas is one of those weird places, man. Texas, Texas is already split as it is.
Yeah.
So, I don't know how to gauge a vote.
I mean, it would be another repeat. I mean, if it got brought up this year and approved to be voted on the first time next year, kind of like it was the first time in New Orleans, it's going to pass in Orlando, just like it passed in New Orleans.
Yeah.
And then the next year, it's in Utah. It's in Salt Lake City. It's not going to pass in Salt Lake.
Here, would it not be the final vote needed as it was in Indy and Orlando? Surely it's not 2 years, because if it happened because it got brought forth. The Mike Law Amendment got brought forth in New Orleans, right?
No,
it was the year before New Orleans.
It was the year before it was brought up.
So then, Salt Lake City.
Because the first actual vote on it to have it a part of the bylaws was in New Orleans. God. So it had been brought up.
I wonder if that's just going to get brought up every year.
I could be wrong. It probably will.
Which I'm okay with it, man. I mean, the reason it got voted down, in my opinion, is not because people disagree with it. Is people saw it as not needed.
Yeah.
And that need's only going to increase.
Yeah.
So, I think I hope it'll eventually.
I think what's going to end up happening is it's going to get reworded to where it's.
I just don't know how. Cause
they're going to have to find to get more votes. A lot of the people that voted against it, that said it wasn't needed, they voiced their issue with it, and their issue was that you're going to lose churches that are, these aren't their words, these are my words, they're too bullheaded and stubborn to change a woman's title that's not an actual pastor.
Yeah, because
they don't want to offend anybody.
Well, that was another critique too, because it didn't address function. It addressed title.
Yeah.
Solely title.
If there's a way where it addresses function as opposed to title, I think that's what's going to get your votes for it to pass. Or sooner to get the votes to pass it.
We'll see how it's worded this year. I imagine Mike Law is going to be the driving force for it.
Yes, I don't. No, I saw the name on it. I know he's tied in with it.
Yeah, because that was my initial. Because initially I went into it like, I don't know if this is initially. I mean, even if it gets passed, you're not tackling the source.
Yeah.
I mean, you can easily get around that, but because it was solely title, but you can have a worship leader.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. That's kind of like with us. Our music director today announced that she was retired after resigned. She after almost 22, 23 years at our church. And it's one of those things, it's like, when we bring another one in, her
title was the minister.
Her technical title was Minister of Music. And honestly, when we were the last church we came from,
idea that was her title.
You don't really think about it because they're not ordained ministers.
No.
It's just the title that they've always had.
Well, see, the title doesn't bother me as much as function.
Yeah.
So, but two, and I mean, let's not cut hairs here. I mean, let's. If we're going to address something, let's address it. But I think that's another flaw of the amendment. It was, too many people saw that as, I mean, what is title going to solve? Yeah, you're still not going to stop, If a senior pastor wants a woman to preach, or if a woman wants to be a senior pastor, that amendment, there's ways around that amendment.
Yeah. Yeah, and there was, like I said, when we were at our last church in Savannah, led music, didn't even think about it. Never really put much thought into it, but minister of music's what her title was. She wasn't a minister. She wasn't doing any ministry or pastoral work. Nothing that would qualify her as an actual minister. It's just that's what the position had always been called, and it was just. But you don't really think about it because they're not actually doing ministerial work.
But then too, it's just unless you're just blatantly obvious about it, as New Spring was. How's the credentials committee going to just decipher function if the church is quote unquote smart about it?
Yeah.
But then too, why you want to be a part of the SBC if you're just clearly you don't believe in the SBC?
Yeah.
Or believe in what the Baptist faith and message. Like I don't get that. But Darren brought up a point about just other benefits that come forth with being a part of the Southern Baptist Convention.
Yeah,
but I'm not smart enough to remember all those.
But yeah, so it's gonna be a good time. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, and we nerd out on this kind of stuff, so this is kind of right up our alley.
So our next episode very well may
be in Dallas.
Maybe in Dallas. You know what? No, because you're preaching to the youth on June 1st.
Oh, that's right.
So I'm planning on everything working out right. I'm going to be up there in the youth room with you. We're going to record that, and we'll drop that Wednesday, whatever day that is. That'd be what? First. That's June 1st. So 3rd, 4th. Looking at June 4th will probably be our next episode coming out. That's actually next week. So next Wednesday, if everything goes accordingly, hey,
I'm going to do that before the
we might be back on the streak. We might have, if we drop something while we're at the annual meeting, and then we record something when we get back as a recap, that'd be 4 weeks in a row again.
Yeah.
We'll have to keep the momentum rolling again, at least with every other week. But it's going to be a good time. So you guys make sure that you're following, subscribe, like us, review us, share us with friends, share us with enemies. I don't really care.
As long as they listen.
Yeah. And, most importantly, if you guys don't mind, just pray for JT and I and the show that it's useful and beneficial to you guys and anybody else that might pick it up down the line, no matter how soon or far from us releasing each episode is. We're more than appreciative for that. And hopefully we can start getting some more stuff on the website as well once life slows down a little bit for us. But until next time, stay focused on biblically navigating the secular world. Keep your nose in the Bible. That's your compass. And look forward to talking again, hopefully next week.
Yeah.
So, see y'all.
Awesome. See y'all.